It's a terrible football show, all right?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Come on, Shane. OH.
Damn.
OH.
Oh, baby,
go.
yeah! Shane, I swear to God.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man.
Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you can thoroughly kiss my ass.
Why not let us decide the top four?
Yeah, let a terrible football show
Let a terrible
decide the top four.
Fuck you, Shane.
Roll Tide. Have a good one, guys.
Oh,
Enjoy the show.
Oh, yeah, he's got to go. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
You know, I like that Baker Mayfield and myself, man. He was baking it up there in the Browns, and it just turned into a big old shit pile. So,
Get that right. I will fly you out and take you to a game in Dallas of your fucking choice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? It's a terrible football show after all. Welcome to the Terrible Football Show, episode Terrell Owens. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today, whether you're watching this live alongside of us or listening to it after the fact. We appreciate the absolute hell out of you. I got the boys here with me. I got Jacob and Ricky. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling?
In a week.
My team scored 3 points over the weekend. How do you think I feel?
Hey, absolute barn burner over there, baby. That was a game. Of course, for anyone listening, we are talking about Arkansas and was it Mississippi State, I think?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a barn burner.
Yes. Oh gosh, 3 points. That's the first time in over 20 years that we only scored 3 points in a game. And at least the last time we scored 3 points in a game was against a national champion or an eventual national champion, which I think was LSU. I think that's the last time we only scored 3 points in the entire in an entire football game. That's just absolutely ridiculous, redundant. I'm done. You know, I was done last week. I'm done this week. We lose the bye week. Okay, it's over. Okay, we're going.
So
we're going over
the
rest of the
way. You need a new team,
Hey,
right?
We're not beating Florida. We're not beating Florida International. We're not beating Missouri. And I'm so ticked off I don't remember who the fourth team is right now. Auburn. We're not beating Auburn either.
So what
we're
you're
not
saying
beating
is
anybody.
it's time to jump ship. It's time to retire your fandom.
Oh, it's
Time to
it's
become a
coming close,
Buckeye.
ladies.
Yeah, go be a Buckeye.
I don't know about it. I don't know about becoming a Buckeye.
Come be a
but
Hawaii
it's-
fan.
it's
Come on, come
becoming
with me. It's so relaxing. It's so relaxing.
This is why we have backups, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we have backup teams, just in case our initial team completely sucks. And in this case, I'm done. I can't do it. I can't do it no more, y'all. I can't do it no more. We have completely KJ Jefferson has completely. He's not getting drafted. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if he'll get an offseason workout with anybody. That's how bad he is right now. Tell me how. And
That's a hot take.
I'm doing my. Okay, so I'm gonna do some of my dicks right now. Disappointing. What is so disappointing right now is the simple fact is that when coming into the season, you had KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders coming back. That right there just in itself is like, okay, let's see where we can go with this because we have veteran leadership. We know we can run the football. We knew KJ was going to have to step up and play a whole lot better than what he did last year. We knew this. And Rocket hasn't been available. KJ has done nothing but regressed. And we have done nothing. And then of all the things that, which, listen, for those people who don't know their football, who say we should have kept Kendall Browse needs to be punched. Because the only reason we didn't keep Kendall Browse is because he couldn't call an offense. He could not call an offensive play to save his life. Now, first of all, they screwed up when they hired Dan Enos, which I at first thought, well, maybe, just maybe, getting KJ adapted to a pro style might help him in his future. It's done nothing but regressed him, and the entire damn offensive line looks like a bunch of you and I could block better than most of those people up there, and they're blocking 350-pound linemen every single week. I mean, it is just absolutely ridiculous. It's so bad. It's so bad. It turns to infuriating. For the simple fact is that for the third straight season, we've done absolutely nothing to improve, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We go from 1 point, and instead of taking that 1 point, which we saw this little progression coming along, it's done nothing but regressed ever since then. And now it turns from disappointing into infuriating because you have these two great athletes with nothing to show for it whatsoever. And for the first time in forever, our defense played really, really well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the state of the union when it comes to being an Arkansas Razorback fan. The way that you're talking right now is basically how I have been talking for weeks when it comes to being a Chicago Bears fan who got a random win this weekend. Like I said, guys, I can't predict Bears games because I picked the Raiders to win. I can't pick Bears games. It's not possible. Either way, at least while we won the game, that's cool and all. It's still not going to necessarily get us to where we want to go. Ricky's feeling how he's feeling, but Jacob, you had a pretty big win this weekend, being an Ohio State Buckeye fan.
We just keep adding on to our unbelievable resume currently. I think out of the top 10 teams right now, we have the best resume. And come college football playoff committee time
next week,
I think if they don't say that ranked wins, especially top 10 wins like both of ours is one of the most important factors into ranking a team, I'm done with the committee once again.
Yeah, once again, doesn't take much. Yeah, next week we will not be live on Tuesday, which is unfortunate, because last year we were live for the college football playoff reveal, the rankings reveal. I really want to do that this year, but next Tuesday is of course Halloween. And I personally wanted to have some spooky plans. So apologies, that one's on me, boys. Now we can all have spooky plans, though. So go have some spooky plans. Go have some fun. But we will be live on Wednesday. I don't know what time we'll go live, like either 5 or 5:30. If it's 5, like me and Ricky will start the show. Jacob will just pop in. Ricky will leave early kind of thing. I don't know. We will figure it out. Just keep an eye on the channel, and you will see the live stream go up at some point. It's all good. But no, today's episode, we are, as I have for the title, we have ATFS presents the true AP top 25 of college football. This is something that Jacob approached me with, and, he's very adamant that the AP is a joke, which they are. We know that. We already know that. So we're going to definitely go through that, and then just some other college stuff going on, some pro stuff, the usual BS, no big deal. After the AP Top 25 presented by ATFS, we do have our very own official Mr. Ricky here. He's going to dissect some plays that were either called correctly or called wrong. Obviously, I can't show the plays, so Ricky, I'm just going to need you to basically say this game, this quarter, whatever info you can provide. You know what I mean? I'm sure people can get the most of the gist of it. Obviously, I cannot show it. So
yeah, that's fine. There's 4 plays, and I think anybody who watched any kind of football over the weekend will know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah. But I think without further ado, I think we can go ahead and probably jump into Jacob's AP Top 25. The only things to shout out, of course, is make sure to go check out some Rogue Energy and check out Agent Inc. and buy a jersey. All right, I'm swapping screens, Jacob. This is your show now, my guy.
All right. So first and foremost, I myself, everybody here at ATFS, cannot stand the AP polls for the overall part. It's fan based purely. It's money based, fan based, and very, very, very biased. So after this most recent AP Top 25 poll came out, I decided to take it upon myself to establish what will be the actual real top 25 in college football Division 1.
Love
So
it.
without further ado,
Love it.
I love you, Jacob. I
Oh,
swear
hold
to
on,
God,
hold
man,
on.
this
Well,
is awesome.
Jacob, before do we want to start from the bottom and work our way up? What are we doing here?
yes, I am starting from the
All
bottom.
right, hold on. Let me go all the way down then. All right, we are at the bottom. I'm at the bottom. We're good. I'm glad I clarified that before we got going.
So first and foremost, there are two teams that are not going to be in this top 25 that are in the actual official AP top 25. And that is UCLA and USC.
Ooh.
USC,
Very, very.
4 weeks now, including the last 2 weeks of being losses, has not looked like top team that everyone thought they were going to look like
I agree.
this going into this year. It's insane how much they have dropped off the radar pretty much. Caleb Williams is not looking great at all. Their defense is non-existent. And UCLA speaks for itself. They haven't really played anybody to warrant a top 25
Yeah, true.
position.
Only Washington State. That's really it, honestly.
So
Sorry.
I will go 5 teams at a time.
Okay.
Starting with the first 5. Number 25, we have Tennessee. Number 24, Florida. Number 23, Liberty. Number 22, James Madison. Number 21, Tulane.
I don't have an issue with those. I like that.
Liberty not being ranked in the top 25 right now is blasphemy. They are an undefeated team. They have some pretty impressive wins as far as their caliber of football goes, and it needs to be warranted with a position in the top teams in the country.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Where did you rank? Where did you rank Liberty?
23.
23. They are above Florida and Tennessee.
That's fair.
Is it fair, Ricky? Is it?
Yeah. I have no argument there. Yeah, you got a pretty good warrant.
I'm just messing with you.
He's messing with
I'm
you
just
because
making
of
sure it's
because
fair.
of
I'm just saying it's
the
fair.
history of Liberty on this show with us and you.
Oh,
Yeah.
now I get it. Okay. Read between the lines, gentlemen. Read between the lines.
Next 5 teams we got here. Number 20, North Carolina. 19, Louisville. 18, Duke. 17, Air Force. And 16, Missouri.
I'm here for
Okay,
that.
so
And
this is where I'm going to disagree with you. The only reason I would not put Duke so high above North Carolina, they do have 2 losses, and I understand the 2 losses were very close. You know Notre Dame and Florida State. I will get that, and I also get that North Carolina did lose to Virginia, which was to me that's the only massive upset that we've had this entire confusing football season so far. But I still would not put Duke above North Carolina right here.
The reason why I put
Not
Duke
yet.
above North Carolina is because, yes, North Carolina only has 1 loss, but they also have some very close games that were almost potential losses against App State and Pitt.
And meanwhile, Duke has played some pretty consistent football, so I can see your logic. I can see both pieces of logic. But I will say for North Carolina being below Duke, I mean, man, that Virginia loss. I've been there.
That's
I get it.
huge.
Virginia
Virginia's one of the worst teams in the country right now, and that,
Yeah.
as far as Power 5 goes, especially. So
Yeah.
that's just terrible.
I mean, these 1-win teams this weekend. I mean, that just got their second win. You've got them. You've got the Chicago Bears, who basically had an NCAA Division II at quarterback, and he just threw all over the place and played very, very well.
Hey,
And
it's
then
the
the
Tim
Patriots.
Tebow.
Oh my gosh!
It's the Tim Tebow
It's
division
like these.
too.
I guess so. So you all right? So repeat what you had on those last 5.
16 Missouri, 17 Air Force, 18 Duke, 19 Louisville, 20 North Carolina.
Okay.
Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. I mean, all these teams relatively rank around the same in the actual AP. but I just moved them based upon strength of schedule, head to head, the usual stuff that the committee would go for.
Okay. Okay.
Next 5. Now we're starting to get into the juiciness. 15 Notre Dame, 14 LSU, 13 Utah, 12 Ole Miss, 11 Oregon State.
Go Bees,
So
baby.
Oregon State, Ole Miss, and Utah stay the same. I do flip Notre Dame and LSU because I think LSU has had a more impressive season thus far than Notre Dame.
I can agree to that, honestly.
Yeah. There's no arguing there. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I know that one Florida State loss that LSU had at the beginning of the year that looked pretty bad, but see, Notre Dame, they have lost. I know they lost to Ohio State. Who was their second loss?
Louisville.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Louisville turned around and lost the very next week. So yeah. All right. What's next?
All right, now we start the top 10 here.
Here we go.
Stays relatively the same with Penn State at number 10, Oregon at number 9, Alabama 8, Texas at 7, Oklahoma at 6. Alabama and Oregon, I flipped versus the actual AP poll because Alabama has started to get more hot, and Oregon, I don't know about Oregon yet. I really, really don't. They've only truly had one test, and that was Washington, and they flubbed it. I think Oregon has been a little bit more impressive
I wouldn't say
coming back.
I wouldn't say they flubbed it. That was a very good football game. That was a really good football game. I mean, one thing we take in consideration with Alabama, if we're going to be honest, if you go through Alabama's entire schedule, they lost to Tech. They did lose to Texas, who was ranked at the time. I think they were ranked lower at the time than what the Washington game was last. What was Washington to Oregon, like 5 and 6 or something like that? I can't remember.
7 and 8, I think, something like that. 5 and 6, I don't know.
Texas
so I
was
think at
ranked
the time-
11th when they beat Alabama.
So they have a loss against a ranked team that was lower than both Oregon and Washington at the time that Bama lost to Texas. The very next week they barely got out of Florida with the win, and I know it was a 17-3, and we knew they were going to win the game, but they just looked completely awful. And then ever since then they've looked pretty good. I mean, they had a close game against Texas A&M, Arkansas. They only had a 3-point win against Arkansas, and you know how Arkansas is and everything like that. Now, I will say that their Tennessee win was very impressive, but Tennessee's not near as good as what they have been. So, so in some ways, I could see your point just based on the ballot that Alabama's had a tougher schedule. But as far as being impressive goes, I'm more impressed with Oregon than I am Alabama.
The
But I
reason
do-
why
but I
I'm
do
not
un-
as
I
impressed
do
with
under-
Oregon. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was my microphone trying to that was just my microphone trying to catch up with the speakers of this crappy box internet that I have over here.
One day.
The reason why I'm more impressed with Alabama versus Oregon is because Oregon has had one true test so far this season and they fail. That right there, that type of game against Washington is the game that makes or breaks a season whether or not you go to the playoffs. And if Oregon is as impressive as everybody says they are, they should have won that game.
So I'm actually on the boat with Ricky on this one, where I'm more impressed by Oregon personally, because it's like when it comes to the Washington game, while I do agree with you, that was like their one true test out of their schedule so far. It's tough to call that game a failure outside of just losing it. You know what I mean? Because that was a phenomenal game. Both teams showed up in every way possible, and they lost very close. It's tough to call it a failure, but I do see your point about, hey, it's a failure because you didn't win the game. A win's a win. I understand that. Well, when it comes to this, I would personally flip Oregon and Alabama. That's my personal take. Just because while Alabama's kind of gotten hot recently, they have just had a season of inconsistency. Because I still think it's a laughing stock. They kept it freaking close with USF, for God's sake. So that would be the only thing I would switch here is Alabama and Oregon.
One of the last reasons why I switched it is because Oregon only has one top 25 win. Alabama has 2.
That's fair.
And Alabama's 2
I
wins
see
is way more
both. I
impressive
see
than
both.
Oregon
I see
beating
both
Colorado.
points. I see both sides. That one's
Yeah,
a tough one.
That's fair.
Now you guys ready for a shocker?
Yeah, hit me with it.
All
Let's-
right.
let's
At
hear it.
number 5, we got Georgia.
Oh, okay,
Whoa.
okay.
Their biggest win was against Kentucky, and Kentucky was ranked number 20. The biggest challenge ahead that I see them having is they have a tough 4-game stretch coming up, and all four of which ranked versus ranked. This is the test. This is finally the true test for this Georgia team that has been very inconsistent throughout this season. Do I think they'll survive? I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. The reason for the ranking, though, is they just haven't played a top-tier team yet. Kentucky was ranked, but far from a top team in the country, and has just dropped out of the top 25. UAB and Vandy both gave them fits when the games should have been blowouts.
Facts.
And a now 3-4 Auburn team nearly stole a win. Also, they have one of the weakest non-conference schedules for a Power 5.
That's a
They
big
do
fact.
not deserve a number 1.
That now the schedule thing, that is big fucking facts. Like, that schedule is weak as fuck. Any Georgia fan tries to argue that, you have your head so firmly shoved up your own asshole in your own little echo chamber. I'm sorry, but it's true. That is one of the most pathetic schedules I've ever seen, especially because of the travel aspect of things. Where, like, they literally, like, go to, like, Tennessee and then Florida. And do they go anywhere else? Is Tennessee and Florida, like, the only states they go to?
As far
road
as remaining games go?
No, I mean, like, for their entire schedule. Wasn't it only, like, Tennessee and Florida is, like, the only states they got to go to?
They went to Auburn.
So
what was that,
Alabama.
Alabama?
Yeah, so it's like 3 states, and they're obviously, like, surrounding.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. That's pathetic. I will say, when it comes to Georgia, I think dropping them from like 1 to 5, that's a pretty heavy drop. But I will agree with you 100% that Georgia being number 1 is just them having just a nice little pat on the ass because they're the back-to-back whatever champions. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Like
It is a
they're just
dramatic
getting a pat
drop, I
on the
will
ass.
agree. But it's just the fact that all the other 4 teams in the top 5 just, to me, have better and more impressive resumes.
Right. I see that.
Yeah, that's understandable, but I will say this in their defense, because last year Georgia had to go to Missouri, to Kentucky, they had to go to the swamp in Florida, and everybody knows no matter how terrible the Florida team is, it's no fun going to the swamp. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they just haven't figured things out yet. But yeah, I agree with you on their resume. They have not been able to be consistent enough to be a number 1 team in the country. I will agree with that, though.
I am firmly predicting that Georgia will finish the season with 2 losses. Do I know to who? Not necessarily. I'm not gonna pinpoint, but 2-loss team.
Okay.
Moving on to number 4, Washington. Obviously, the huge win against Oregon. Their biggest challenge ahead is that they have one of the toughest stretches of games to end the season, with 3 games coming against ranked teams, 1 game against a formerly ranked team, and a Stanford team who put the final nail in a coffin that was the Colorado hype train. Thank God.
He'll be back next year.
I hope not.
He'll be back next year. Get ready.
I cannot stand Colorado. Like, I love Dion, but the hype was not warranted whatsoever. Because it's a first-year team, there's so many different pieces that are still missing from that team. The hype shouldn't have been there.
Just wait till next
another
year.
topic.
Just wait till next year.
Upcoming potential losses that I could see is obviously they go to USC, then they play Utah, they go to the Beavs, and then they play Washington State. That's a tough schedule. That's a very, very tough schedule.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
it's a gauntlet.
They
Do I see
do
them
have a
winning
gauntlet.
out? I very much well could, but they might catch a loss somewhere in that mix.
Now, if they fulfill this gauntlet, are they number 1 to you?
Oh yeah, hands down.
Okay. Because like that, I look at this lineup. I mean, USC, while they've dropped off a cliff, it's still a good football team. They're just not a great football team. Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
You know, good
Mhm.
football team. Utah, I'd say a good football team. Oregon State, good football team. Washington State. I mean, all these are good football teams. You know what I mean? Like these are like teams not to laugh at. So if they go through this gauntlet and come out with wins and maybe even at least maybe 1 or 2 convincing wins, I mean, in my opinion, Washington has 100% the argument to be the number 1 team in the country.
I think the biggest thing going against Washington right now is their non-conference schedule.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah, you have Michigan State, but Michigan State is not a very good team this year. You have Boise State. Boise State isn't a very good team this year. And Tulsa is Tulsa.
Shout out to the Golden Hurricane.
Yep,
All
I'll
right.
be there this weekend.
Really?
Oh, really?
Bowling tournament,
Nice.
the
Oh.
Greater Tulsa Open.
Nice.
Number 3, Florida State. Obviously, their biggest win was against LSU. Biggest challenge ahead. Can they start a game fast, or will they continue to rely on strong second half performances to get them the victory, like they have been over and over again for the last 4 weeks? Their schedule, their upcoming potential losses, I have at Pittsburgh, Miami, and then at Florida. I can see that Pittsburgh's starting to catch some heat, so I can see Pittsburgh giving them an upset. Florida, I predicted before the season even began that Florida is going to catch that dub against Florida State, and I still firmly believe that. And Miami, I threw that in there for you, Al.
Thank you.
I have faith. I have faith.
Hey, shout out to the Canes, man, getting a dub over Clemson this weekend.
Yeah.
Shout
true.
out.
The reason for the ranking at number 3 is they have multiple ranked wins, including then number 5 LSU and number 16 Duke. Outside of those wins, the rest of their W's have come against either slumping or straight up terrible teams. Southern Miss, trash. They survived by 2 points against an unexpected Boston College team. Clemson is in the middle of what seems to be a rebuilding phase this year, and Virginia Tech and Syracuse are lackluster. Now, Jordan Travis, their quarterback, playing some of the best football in the country right now, in my opinion. He became just the 4th ACC quarterback with at least 15 passing touchdowns and 5 rushing scores through the first 7 games of the season in the past 20. That's impressive because the ACC has had some pretty damn good quarterback talent within the last 20 years.
All right, who's number 1 and number 2?
Well, obviously it's Michigan and Ohio State, but who is the question. I have number 2, Michigan. Best win so far this year for them was versus Rutgers, and that speaks for itself.
Yeah, Michigan's schedule's been a cupcake.
Yeah, the biggest challenge ahead for them is just the results of the cheating scandal. Honestly, that is the biggest hurdle that is standing in their way right now. And so far right now it's not looking very good for them. A Michigan staffer, just for people who haven't been catching up with this, a Michigan staffer was found to have bought tickets for more than 30 games at 11 Big Ten schools over the past 3 years. And also there is video evidence of sideline taping that is to be filed and sent to the NCAA this week that was caught by stadium surveillance. Not looking very good for Michigan. And I have a feeling that if they are found guilty, there is going to be firings. There is going to be this season will be a forfeit. Probably the last couple seasons will be forfeited. And obviously they won't be able to go to a bowl game.
Yeah. No, you're
upcoming
right.
potential losses.
You're totally right
at
on the
Penn
biggest
State.
challenges.
What's that?
You're totally right on the biggest challenge ahead.
Upcoming potential losses. They still have to play Penn State at Penn State in Happy Valley, and then they also have to play Ohio State. Reason for a top 2 or top 3 ranking is because, they've only allowed 47 total points over the course of the first 8 games. Strength of schedule obviously isn't the best. but they've been playing some of the best football in the country regardless, and have had no close calls so far this season. With most of the top 10 teams having at least one close call, and most of them being against unranked teams. Now, obviously, and there is before I get into the number one, there absolutely zero bias in this top 25. I know it may come across as that, but I promise you guys, there is no bias whatsoever.
Says the
I do
Ohio
have number
State
one
fan.
as Ohio State. Biggest win was against Penn State, and their biggest challenge ahead: can they get key players back from injury in time to go head to head with Michigan when the final game comes? They could lose against Wisconsin. They could lose against Michigan. Wisconsin could be a trap game. Wisconsin's not been the best. I definitely thought they were going to be better this season, but they haven't been playing up to their potential. The reason that I put them at number one is what I was talking about earlier. Is they have 2 top 10 wins already under their belt, and that's the most of any top 10 teams right now. So their resume speaks for itself. They're averaging a total of 10 points scored against them per game. That's 3rd nationally. OSU's defense has been absolutely smothering, aside from a slip up with Maryland, but they closed that game out and won by double digits. And the offense has been slightly banged up, especially at the running back position, but remains stout with Ford Harrison Jr. connection leading the way for the country.
So, as a gentleman here who is friends with said gentleman that is an Ohio State fan, I can tell everyone listening to the show that without a shadow of a doubt, this motherfucker is biased as shit. He is like General Bob Carpenter level bias, where he's throwing Ohio State at number one at every single moment that he can, saying that Ohio State's going to win the national championship at every single moment that he has the chance to reveal that information. Do not buy into this bullshit. This is a crock pot full of shit. No, in all seriousness, no, Jacob, there is no biasness when it comes to Jacob, because, like, him putting Ohio State up there, like, I think there's a valid argument for it, because, the big wins that they've had are big wins. You know what I mean? With Penn State, with Notre Dame, those are both huge wins, top 10 wins, like Jacob was saying. And having the argument to put them at number one, I think it's a very valid argument. When it comes to all the teams right now, I'm going to be real with you guys. I feel like the most valid arguments to be made for the number one team in the nation is like Ohio State and Washington, in my opinion. I think those two have the highest argument to make. And I know there's Georgia there, but again, I feel like Georgia's just getting a pat on the ass because they're Georgia. That's what I feel like. They're a top 5 team. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. They are a top 5 team, but I don't know if they're number one. I think when it comes to the top 25, I think there is a legitimate argument to make with Ohio State and Washington. At least in my opinion. This man may be an Ohio State fan, but he is most definitely not a biased fan. Because trust me on this. If he was a biased son of a bitch, he would not be on this show. To give everyone an insight on that, when I met Ricky, and I knew he was an Arkansas fan, my exact words to Tyler: if Ricky was one of those Arkansas fans that just believed Arkansas was the greatest thing on the face of this planet and he's not a realist, he will never be on this show. And Tyler's like, nah, he's good. I'm like, all right, bet. I don't tolerate that bullshit. I am a hyper realist in all aspects of life. So, even though Jacob's an Ohio State fan, I think, I'm stating his case for him. This is a legitimate argument. It's not just fandom. I got you, Jacob.
I appreciate that, buddy.
As I slip, some money under the table, or you slip some money under the table,
The only thing that you definitely have a valid argument for Ohio State being number one. There's definitely no valid argument there. The only thing I would disagree with is the fact that even though Michigan has not had the schedule so far, they've had no hiccups. They haven't had any close call. There has not been a time in a football game where you're like, oh my gosh, could this team potentially upset Michigan? You haven't had that. I think that's the only hiccup. The one thing that I will say about it though, Jacob, is that and I can't believe I'm saying this. I've actually been very impressed with the way Ohio State's handled all controversy so far for this coming season, because you've seen that struggle that they've had, and it's like when they went to Notre Dame, they were just on this different level, and coming out of that win next week against Maryland, it took 3 quarters for them to finally wake up and put Maryland away. But and Maryland is not a scrub.
True.
Purdue is Purdue. 'Cause they're not very good. And then of course, Penn State being at home this year. The only argument that I would really have, I think Notre Dame is their biggest win so far this year, because it was at Notre Dame, and to me, now in the retrospect, it was a bigger game because of the conference itself, because that's conference implications right there, and that's one of the biggest things that the committee looks at. They do look at conference more than they do the non-conference per se, depending on the situation. I still think their biggest wins at Notre Dame, because it was at Notre Dame, and this Notre Dame team, even though they did lose to a very lesser team a few weeks back, I still think that's their biggest win so far. That's the only thing that I would say that I could make an argument for. But yeah, I would definitely back you up on this ranking though. That I definitely back you up on that one. That's good stuff right there. And maybe we should have an ATFS playoff poll.
Whenever Jacob messaged about like, I'm going to do the true top 25, I'm just like, is this untapped potential for this show that we haven't thought about?
Yes. Yes.
Because it's not only that, like,
we're going to send this.
Like, I also thought
We'll
about
this
the whole,
ESPN and
yeah, true. I also thought about the whole, like, we're looking at bad plays, and I'm just like, Ref Ricky, is this another untapped potential that we haven't thought about? Is a Ref Ricky segment. There may be some segments on this show in the future.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's do a speed run of your top 25. We'll wrap this bad boy up. Let's do it, Jacob. Run through it.
All right. Number 1, Ohio State. 2, Michigan. 3, Florida State. 4, Washington.
Wait. Fuck Florida State.
Apologies. 5, Georgia. 6, Oklahoma. 7, Texas. 8, Alabama. 9, Oregon. 10, Penn State. 11, Oregon State. 12, Ole Miss. 13, Utah. 14, LSU. 15, Notre Dame. 16, Missouri. 17, Air Force. 18, Duke. 19, Louisville. 20, North Carolina. 21, Tulane. 22, James Madison. 23, Liberty. 24, Florida. 25, Tennessee. And the 2 teams left out of my top 25 that are in the actual AP top 25 is UCLA and USC.
Beautiful job.
Thank you.
And that was the ATFS top 25 going in like what, week 8? Week 9. I don't remember what week we're in. I'll be honest with you.
It's all a blur.
Look, this weekend for me is a blur. I did one thing all weekend. Okay, it is definitely a blur to me. All right, let's get to Ref Ricky. We got some plays that he's gonna break down a little bit. Before we actually get to Ref Ricky, though, I want to shout this out because I just saw it while we were going through everything. Apparently, body cam footage was released of Chris Olave getting arrested last night. Have you guys seen that yet?
No.
Yep. Yeah, he got arrested last night. I saw the body cam has come out within the last hour. He was driving a 75 and a 35. And, of course, this dumbass, all right, so this right here, like, I haven't actually listened to it, so I haven't listened to the tone. I'm just reading the text, so I haven't listened to the tone or anything. But, like, safely assuming that it's meant the way that it's kind of perceived in text, I officially have zero respect for Chris Olave because, like, it's just like, stop being a fucking child. But, like, in the video, he literally says, "My bad, dog. I play for the Saints, man." And the cop's just like, and? Like, do I care? Like, if you're trying to flaunt that, like, man, I play for the Saints, dude, who gives a fuck? Breaking the law is breaking the law. So, shout out to that. That happened. I saw that come out. So that's the thing. We'll see what comes out of that. But anyway, all right, Ref Ricky, what do we got? What do we got on the slate this week?
All right. So, who was it that was Steve that sent me those, right?
Yeah, Steve sent all of them.
All right, Steve. So hopefully you're listening. First, I'm going to kind of go with some of the ones that are point blank obvious. The first one I'm going to go over is the Pittsburgh Steelers one that he sent me. He felt like that Kenny Pickett did not get the line to gain. Of course, that line on TV and yeah, that line on TV that you see is not necessarily 100% accurate. When you see Kenny Pickett take the when you see him sneak the football, I thought the line judge spotted it right on. Sometimes it is very, very hard to see a quarterback sneak. So whether he got it right or wrong, I don't think that's necessarily something to throw your hands up on or anything like that. But that is just something that's going to happen, especially in quarterback things. I personally thought he got it right, and I did watch it about 7 or 8 times before I did come up with that conclusion. I do want to get to the Browns and Indianapolis game next. The one thing that I hate about the NFL is some of these picky ass rules that they have, where they do have illegal contact and everything like that. Now, the one thing about the illegal contact, the only reason I disagree with it is for the simple fact is that there was already a sack on the quarterback. There really wasn't a play. That was going toward him at the time. Now, I do understand why they called that because the player was kind of falling and it did hurt his route a little bit, but I didn't think it hurt it enough where it completely changed his route to where it completely changed his footing or anything. Not like what we saw in the Super Bowl, for example, because that's kind of how the Super Bowl sort of played itself out. So that's the only thing I thought they got wrong, with the exception of the pass interference in the end zone. Now, one of the things that I will say about that pass interference call, because technically, if the ball is in the air, it's considered pass interference. They could have called a defensive holding call, but that would have also been inaccurate as well, because, like I said before, if the ball's in the air and they're holding, it's pass interference all day long. Now, the one thing that I wish they would have came together on was that a catchable ball? And that was not a catchable ball. I don't care. You could have been 7'20" and that would not have been caught. It just that's the only thing that I wish that the NFL would specify when it came to stuff like that. Because high school and college football is the same exact way when it comes to pass interference. If the ball's in the air and there's any kind of illegal contact, it's considered pass interference for the most part. The one game that has been somewhat the most controversial, and this is kind of where you have fandom and then you have officiating, because one of the things with officiating, and this has kind of helped me appreciate, some of the thing. It kind of helps me appreciate that I have a rule book in front of me to read. For the simple fact is that when you have this punt return play for the Iowa Minnesota game, obviously that Iowa kid, I feel bad for the kid, but yes, he did break a rule. So what the referee said was, according to the rules, that is considered an invalid fair catch, which is any kind of excessive waving of the arms. Now, when he pointed, he's just pointing at the ball toward his teammates, things like that. That's perfectly legal. But when he took his left arm and he started swinging his left arm, like winding it like a clock, um, the reason they call that an invalid fair catch signal is for the simple fact that, number one, it's illegal, but it's also in there to prevent anything what we call a fake fair catch signal. We sort of had this last year. I had this exact play, not this exact play, but it was very, very close last year. It was on a kickoff. The player raised his arm up, but he never gave a fair signal, and he ended up catching the ball and fumbling the football. Now, had this player caught the football and fumbled the football, it would have been a clear fumble, and they could have been able to play on. However, there was no fumble. All it was a clear recover, which by rule it's a dead ball. It's dead right there where it plays because of that invalid fair catch signal. And so it's a tough rule. But there's a reason it's there, and it's to prevent things like that. Obviously, this kid did not know, That's the thing that sucks that this kid did not know. And even though you have fans out there who are like, "Oh, we got screwed, we got screwed, we got screwed," it's the rules, guys. I'm telling you guys, that's the one thing that can make or break an official is them knowing their rules. And I don't want to sound biased by any kind of means necessary, but there's a reason we have officials. There's a reason that they have certain rules, and yes, unfortunately, the rule was correct. It was a correct. It was an invalid fair catch, and they did get that right.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah, I can see how the ruling came down as it did. I'm going to be honest.
It sucks. It sucks. And even Aaron Rodgers touched on it. I think last night, or was it last? Yeah,
Today.
last night Monday Night Football. And but Aaron Rodgers is also, he's Aaron Rodgers. I really don't care about his opinions, but yeah, it just that's the thing. There's so many picky rules. I don't know every single picky rule, guys. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just know some of the basic stuff, and yes, there are times I have to look. I have to go back and look up to make sure I got a rule correct, even after a game because there's just so many of them. But yes, yeah, for the most part, they got all those calls right. I just hate the NFL rules. I hate some of those illegal contacts. And obviously, considering that he was more than 5 yards down the field on that play, that's why it was illegal contact. But yeah, it sucks. But guys, they got it right. So I mean, it just that's the thing that sucks about it. No Minshew mania, and Gardner Minshew played his butt off. I'll give him that much. No Minshew mania this weekend.
He looked so much more impressive than last week.
Hey, Minshew Mania
Yes,
is
he
going to
did.
run wild, baby, this season. Okay, it's going to happen. Because, like, I mean, besides like last week, I mean, Gardner Minshew, man, he has consistently looked like a quarterback in the NFL. All right, I'm just saying. You look at the stats; that stats don't lie, baby. Now, Minshew Mania is going to run wild. Just watch. Colts going to the Super Bowl. Go ahead and book that one, boys. Colts going to the Super Bowl. All right, thanks, Ref Ricky. We appreciate your insight. We got a little bit smarter today, and that's what's important. All right, boys. Is there any other college topics that we want to touch on?
I don't think so.
I mean, no, I mean, I think like I said, it's been a weird football season. It's just been a weird, and that's the confusion right there, guys. It's just, and I said at the beginning of the year we're gonna have a weird football season, and it has just been this weird ride so far. And the fact that we've had one massive upset in college football over these past few weeks, and it the way that some of these teams have been played, it seems like we should be having a lot more than just one.
Right.
Oh, we almost had one with Arizona State.
That
They
is
almost
true.
stole a
That
dub
is
against
true.
Washington.
Hey, Ref Ricky, I was going to
That
ask
is
you a
true.
question. I had a random thought when you when you touched on the first. I think it was the first one you talked about, which was the Pittsburgh one. I had a very random
Yes.
thought, and this also goes out to Jacob too. Do you guys think that I don't know. I guess the question is more so, how many years do you think it would take for us to get to this point? Because in my opinion, I mean, if you just look at technology and stuff, it only makes sense. We're going to get to this point. When it comes to those sort of situations where it's like, quarterback sneaks or, stuff like that, trying to get that first down, do you think we're going to come a point where they basically put like almost use technology in some capacity to basically put almost like a tracker inside the football where it can detect if it goes past the line?
Well, see, here's the thing. Actually, funny enough, you bring that up. The USFL and the XFL's footballs both have chips in them.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
The problem that the problem that happens though is that there is a 6-inch room for error with the chip, which 6 inches can be quite a bit if you're
Yeah.
determining whether or not like it's a first down or not. So that's the problem that they have right now, blocking the way for the technology being put into place for the NFL and also college football. But
We're
the
going.
technology is there. It is there.
We're going. All right. So that's the future. All right. There you go. It's going to solve a lot of problems when they
And
fix
to
it.
the the fans that are like, oh, we need to have automated referees and all that. The problem with that is the NFL's referees, they're unionized. We can't just get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
And we don't need to
Make
get rid
them
of him anyway.
full-time.
See, and that's one of the things that I absolutely hate is that everybody wants to take the human element out of everything. It's called, that there's a reason. It's almost like they want this perfect scenario of sports. It's not going to happen. Like right now per se, and I know this is a terrible football show, but Major League Baseball and the minor leagues, I can't remember which one that they used there's one that they use. They test some new rules and everything,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
there's one that has automated strike has an automated strike zone, and even that has shown some flaws. That's why we're not seeing it in the Major League Baseball yet. So I mean, I'm just telling you guys, I'm telling you, you think you want it, but until you see it, the flaws on it, you're gonna be like, oh no, we got to go back to this stuff. It's just ridiculous.
I think like the single best piece of technology right now being used sports wise for tennis when they have I don't know the specifics about the technology, but where they're able to zoom into the ball and determine if the ball hit the white line, like the boundary lines or not, digitally. And I think if that technology was implemented into football, that would be great. I think tennis does it right where technology and the human aspect work hand in hand versus one or the other. I think that's what we should have. I think we should have as much technology as possible to benefit the referees and to make their lives easier and to make the calls on the field a lot easier to make.
A lot of referees like the instant replay. A lot of them do, because guys, y'all, I mean, that's the thing. These athletes are so fast. Like you're talking a blink of an eye. Like some of you guys that are sitting in the stands, I'm telling y'all, when it's in front of your face, it's even faster. When you're there on the sideline, it's faster. I missed one a couple of weeks back that I wish I could have overturned, but I mean, I spotted him wrong, but I should have called it a touchdown. He basically caught the football. I thought he stepped out at the 2-yard line, but as he was going back, I didn't notice this, but the pylon, he was already going through the pylon as he was stepping simultaneously, which would have been a touchdown. But at the same time, it's like this stuff happens so fast in front of your face. It's all about quick judgment, and it's hard, guys. It is not an easy job to do, and that's why not everybody does it. We have a shortage right now, and not just in the state of Arkansas, but in Oklahoma, surrounding the United States. We are so short on high school officials. It's not even funny. They're barely getting by with college in the NFL right now. We'll see how that turns up in the near future. I'm just telling you guys, it's way harder than what it seems. I promise you that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, eliminating the human element completely is the right way to go, but I definitely think like what we're saying, the more we can kind of get innovative with it, it's going to be just benefits to the officials. You know what I mean? Just to make the game better. But making the game better does not mean eliminating the refs. That's a crock pot full of shit. But anyway, all right, so let's hop over to some NFL, boys. Let's talk about a few headlines that we would like to touch on and maybe chat about a little bit. So the first one I want to shout out is because I already, of course, shout out to the Bears' random ass win that's not going to matter in the long term. Is shout out to the fact that what the hell happened to the Lions? The Ravens just showed up to play, man. The Ravens just showed up and just did their thing. The Lions didn't want to show up, just like the Bills didn't want to show up this weekend.
Yeah, it was really this game was coming for the Lions. They've been riding a high for a very, very long time, and this type of game that's just a smack in the face was coming for them, and it finally did with this Raven. Man, that Ravens defense looks so damn good, scary good.
Yeah, and I mean, and the Ravens needed this. I mean, you look at the Ravens; they've been kind of riding the fence, for the first few weeks of the season,
True.
and all of a sudden, there's so many people like myself questioning, like, okay, who's going to show up? I mean, are we going to see the Lamar Jackson that's going to be the MVP Lamar Jackson that we saw a few years back? Is he just going to be this mediocre guy? What exactly is going to be the case here? And obviously he played a great game, 357 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. But but like the Lions, I'm still very high. They're still going to win the division, guys.
I agree.
You're gonna every once in a while when even it doesn't matter what sport it's in, you're gonna have that one game. You're just gonna scratch your head and you're gonna be like, "What the hell happened?" And unfortunately, this weekend it was the Lions that walked away, scratching their head saying, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah, and this team will rebound. You know what I mean? Like this team is gritty. This team's gutsy. You know what I mean? They take a smack in the mouth, but that's all right. They're gonna get right back up and chew your kneecaps off. It's okay. Dan Campbell's gonna get the boys right. We're gonna get running with it. It's all good. But like I also mentioned, the Bills also didn't want to show up this week besides the fourth quarter. I'm telling you, I was talking to Steve about it. Steve messaged me. He was just like, "What are the Buffalo Bills?" I'm just like, man, like I've been on the train, but I am fully strapped in, relaxed. I'm even taking a nap on the train that Tyler set in motion to me back in the offseason where he said the Bills aren't even making the playoffs. I'm on that train, man. Like I think the Bills, I think their window is kind of passed right now. Not permanently, but for the moment, I just think they're an inconsistent team, and that's been their thing. It's not like it's a this year thing. Inconsistency runs well with the Bills these past few years. I mean, let's not forget the Bills lost to an Urban Meyer led Jaguars team. You know what I mean? Like that's embarrassing. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Bills can definitely still make the playoffs. Let's go ahead and address that. That can still definitely happen. But I don't know. I'm kind of in the boat that they're not going to make it. I'm kind of in the boat they'll miss the cut because they'll lose some more random ass games that they should not lose because that's the Bills thing to do.
Problem with the Bills is the fact that each and every game, Josh Allen is throwing over 40 passes, and they refuse for some reason they refuse to hand the ball off to James Cook when he has been playing pretty damn good this year. I think if they give the ball to James Cook more often, they will that pressure will be taken off of Josh Allen to force bad plays like he usually tends to do. And I think that offense will cook more better than what it has been.
Yeah. And plus you look at their schedule, man, they've got just a gauntlet coming up. You know what I mean? Like you got to play the Eagles at Philadelphia. You got to play Kansas City at Kansas City. You still got to go to Miami at the last week of the year. You got to go to the Chargers, which I know they're an inconsistent bunch. That's going to be a phenomenal inconsistency Super Bowl right there. Hosting the Cowboys, got to play the Jets, who they already lost to. Got to go to Cincinnati. I mean, you've got some tough games, man, coming up for these Buffalo Bills. So I don't know their level of inconsistency. We're going to see how much they make out of it right now.
Yeah, and and their defense is also not the greatest right now either. They're struggling on that side of the football right now.
Yeah,
which is shocking because they have quite a bit of talent on that defense.
Yep, yes they do. Gosh, they do.
I will say another team that I'm going to put into the same boat as kind of what we were saying for the Lions, where it's just like bump in the road, hit in the mouth. It'll be fine. It'll be no big deal. It would be obviously the Miami Dolphins, losing 31-17 to the Eagles. The Eagles are the team that went to the Super Bowl. That is a hell of a defense. That's still a hell of a team that has struggled this year, in my opinion, in some capacities. I feel like the Eagles have struggled this year, mostly on kind of offense here and there. But, it's still a damn good football team. I don't think there's any shame for the Dolphins losing that one. It's just one little bump in the road. You know what I mean? I think the Dolphins will be fine personally. I'm still very high on this Dolphins team and how well they can play football. So, I mean, I think it'll be fine. I think they'll regroup and keep moving forward personally.
Well, it's not like that game was a blowout.
Yeah.
In no means necessary. That game was close. It was just a late time interception, and Philadelphia loves to capitalize on those turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you also look at the penalties. I think Miami had 10 penalties in that game, and I don't think they flagged Philly once.
Shocker.
Ooh. Also, shout out to the Jags catching a dub on Thursday night. That was Trevor Lawrence's first win ever in New Orleans. Dating back to college, his 2 losses as a college quarterback were both in New Orleans. So shout out to that.
They were.
Yeah, I know you're proud of that one. So shout out to Trevor Lawrence getting a dub down there. Yeah, Jags getting a win. Honestly, in terms of NFL, there wasn't a whole lot to really sink your teeth into. I mean, we did have 6 teams on a bye, including you guys' team. You guys basically, you guys won this week, because you didn't have to watch your team play. So shout out to that. One headline I do want to kind of get your thoughts on is the headline, of course, of Derrick Henry on the trade block. We're expecting a deal to be done before the trade deadline. How are we feeling on this? End of an era for him in Tennessee? Are we surprised? I'm not. Where is he going to go?
This is going to be a resurgence of his career.
I hope so.
I don't think he's done by any means necessary.
I agree. So apparently the rumor is 2 AFC teams and 1 NFC team.
Bring him to Dallas. Please, Lord.
I was about to do the same exact thing. I'm like, dear God.
You know
God,
it's got to be.
I know that you love football.
You know
and
it's
your
got to
Dallas
be
Cowboys
him.
are your team.
You know Jerry Jones is making that call.
He
Hey,
better.
just for the
Well,
simple
no.
fact is, guys.
Actually, it came out earlier today that he is not initiating any calls for trades himself. People will come to him for trades instead. And that is a boneheaded Jerry Jones move, as per usual.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you because he does have a very good defense, and he really doesn't have to make any calls right now because, like I said, defense. But I really wish he would push for Hunter Henry, dadgummit. Derrick Henry. We need Hunter Henry too. But anyway, because we need a good tight end. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm gonna tell you how I know that Dallas Cowboys is God's football team. Y'all ready for this?
Here we go.
So I'm not Catholic by any means necessary, but I did call a
Here we
JV
go.
game last night. Little Rock Catholic and Conway. Little Rock Catholic gets Conway last night. Their JV teams, their high school JV teams. It was a great atmosphere. Yeah, Conway beat the crap out of them. Anyway, but Jerry Jones donates to the Little Rock Catholic, so therefore, God likes Jerry Jones. God likes the Dallas Cowboys.
You say that and watch him get traded like to the Eagles or some shit.
I swear.
No, the Eagles did do a trade with Tennessee, though, of course, with Kevin Byrd, safety. Then there's also the reports that DeAndre Hopkins is on the table as well, which he should have never signed with Tennessee. Why the fuck he signed with the Titans? I love D-Hop. I don't understand why he signed with the Titans. It makes me so angry. There were so many other teams he could have gone to, but whatever. But yeah, D-Hop could potentially move. Derrick Henry is going to move. I mean, the general sense is that literally everyone on the Titans is available right now for trade. They're going full reset mode. Like it's even got me.
Sucks this year.
It's even got me questioning like a really shitty team, that just needs like a veteran presence. Will someone trade for Ryan Tannehill too?
No.
Everyone's available. Nah,
maybe as a backup.
That contract is brutal for Ryan right now. Like
no one's trading Ryan Tannehill.
Watch
Atlanta.
I think Desmond Ritter's starting to come in on his own though.
You think so? Because some weeks we think that, and some weeks we don't think that. He's been very inconsistent this year. When he's good, he's good. But when he's bad, he's bad.
I agree. Yeah,
I don't want to shame anybody or put any bad luck on their career or anything. But Jameis Winston Jr.
Oh man.
I think the one thing though with Desmond Ridder though, he's still a very, very young talent, and I think that's why they'll stick with him. Ryan Tannehill is like my age.
Ryan Tannehill will be good at though as a veteran backup quarterback for Desmond.
I mean, he would be, but the only issue is that he's got a stupid fat contract. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the exact deal, but that contract is going to be the fucking issue.
Because there really isn't a veteran quarterback on the Falcons roster right now. It's Desmond, Taylor Heineke, and Logan Woodside.
Matt Ryan. Hey, it's the Atlanta Falcons owner. Will you come back and be a backup quarterback?
Backup quarterback or the quarterback coach? I can see Matt Ryan coaching.
Yeah, I could too. He's enjoying his time in the booth, but I think I could see him coaching too. Also,
breaking news, and this is very interesting here. This switches back to college real quick. It is being reported that the Michigan analyst that is surrounded by all this controversy bought tickets to 4 games outside of the Big Ten for college football playoff contenders. The plot thickens, gentlemen.
This plot is getting fucking spicy right now.
Mr. Harbaugh, sir, would you like a job in the NFL?
Come up to Chicago. Come up to Chicago. Hey, I'll take him. I'll take him up in Chicago.
New England Patriots next year, ladies and gentlemen. New England Patriots head coach next year.
Nope. Actually, I don't know about that one. One piece of news that came out this week that was reported on is that Bill Belichick very silently and quietly signed a very lucrative extension this offseason.
Oh, boy.
Ian Rappaport broke that news. He got the scoop on it. It wasn't obviously, it's not like a media thing or anything, so it was never announced. But yeah, he did sign a very lucrative extension this offseason. So Bill's here for the long haul.
We will witness, I'm not saying it'll be anytime soon, but we will witness that man die on the football field. That's how long his career is going to be. He will legitimately peel over and just pass away on a football field, and he will be buried underneath.
Hopefully not, but yeah, no, his career is just going to go on and on until he'll be the first head coach in a wheelchair, I think.
John Harbaugh, Cleveland Browns head coach.
No, I like him. I think he'll look better in navy and orange. Almost like we've seen him in navy and orange before. Interesting.
Anyone want to coach the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, anybody at this point would be better than Kevin Stefanski.
That's true, but the one point about who anyone would want to coach the Cleveland Browns is, man, who would want to take on the cap issues that you're going to face with Deshaun Watson? Lord have mercy. Isn't it like a $60 million cap hit that they're going to have to take?
Yep.
That's unreal. Jiminy Christmas Christ. I'm good.
That's what you get for being an idiot and signing him to this lucrative deal when he shouldn't have got it to begin with.
No, I'm going to hold out hope that he'll be a Chicago Bear. That's going to be my hope for Jim Harbaugh. Come on home. Come back to the team that drafted you. But you know what's actually going to happen, though? Let's be real, boys. This is what's actually going to happen. He's not going to be a Chicago Bears head coach. Bears fans, Bears Nation, go ahead and get that settled into your brain now. He's not going to be the Bears head coach. Why? He's going to take a much more relaxing job and have a team that's already built to go. They just need a competent head coach. He's going to go down to LA and be the Chargers head coach. Go ahead and book that one now, boys. I saw the report that Brandon Staley has lost the locker room, especially the defensive side of the ball. That team's got too much goddamn talent.
Defense.
So watch Jim Harbaugh, future Los Angeles Chargers head coach. Him and Justin Herbert. He's got, Quentin Johnson that he can try not to turn into a massive bust. He's got, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. They can try to draft a really good tight end in the draft. They got a great defense with Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James. They got a squad, boys. Asante Samuel Jr., he's on the Chargers, right? I'm not hallucinating. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if he's on a different team. They got a squad, boys. They're ready. They're ready for a head coach.
Keep them all, though, is the question. Because Austin Eckler wants out.
Yeah, no, he wants out. I think he's going to be on his way out the door, which is unfortunate, but that's business. That's the NFL, baby. So, I can have my little pipe dream of Jim Harbaugh coming to Chicago all I want, but in reality, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably. I will say if things with Michigan really go completely ass up and they're banned from college football playoffs for a few years, I'll be honest. I think Jim's gonna leave.
Oh, definitely.
I really do. I know it's his alma mater. You know, I know you get that almost that sense that he'll truly never leave. But no, I mean, if they're banned from the playoffs, man, I think he's out. You know, the NFL's been calling him for years. I think it's time. He's gonna make the jump back. It's just a matter of where. And right now, I would say Chicago and LA are going to be his prime possible locations.
Yeah, and right now this season here is his best chance to win the national championship. So yeah, I think if they take that away, I agree. I think he's gone.
Yeah. So we might get to see the Harbaugh brothers face each other again in the NFL. That'll be exciting.
Face each other in a Super Bowl again, potentially.
Well, unless he goes to the Chargers, you know. They can meet in the championship. So
yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything else NFL wise? I mean, it's kind of like I said, a lackluster week. Not a whole lot to really dive into per se. We had 6 teams on a bye. I mean, we got anything else? We can get to our dicks of the week. I did not post a script, obviously, in the Discord because I've been busy and I forgot. But shout out to Ricky for saying that earlier because I would have totally forgot the dicks of the week. Like I would have totally forgotten it if it wasn't for Ricky shouting that out earlier. So, do we got anything else we want to talk about? Or are we ready to grip it and rip it?
I think we're ready to grip and rip it. I heard that phrase actually late last week, and I'm like, oh my Lord, is this Alex?
I'm glad I can make it into your life in more ways than one, my friend. All right, okay, yeah. Okay, so I see the developing story that you're talking about. I see the notification from a few minutes ago involving Michigan. I see it.
I think we'll probably know something concrete within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
I think they're going to want to try to get this investigation thoroughly investigated before the playoffs start, or even like have a thought of starting.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. All right, boys, let's get to the dicks of the week. It's time to grip it and rip it. We got Steve in the chat saying, "What's up, boys? What does it stand for?" Again, well, Steve, I'll be glad to fucking tell you, my guy. Our dicks are our most disappointing, our most infuriating, our most confusing, our most hype, and our most shocking moment of the previous week of the game that this show is named after, which is football. So yes, boys, it's time to grip it and rip it. Let's go through our dicks of the week. I'll go ahead and start because mine's going to be the most lackluster. Full transparency. Me and football did not exist this weekend, okay? I had Marvel Spider-Man 2 came out, and just to go ahead and set the bar on this, I played it on the hardest difficulty available, and I 100% the game and platinum the game this weekend. I'm completely done with the game until New Game Plus comes out, and I can play it again with New Game Plus on the new hardest difficulty that I unlocked. So I was completely out of football this weekend. So I'm going to just be shooting from the hip on this one, boys. The most disappointing, I would definitely say, is Minshew Mania. I did not get to fully run wild. It was a close game against not a bad football team, the Cleveland Browns, but, I mean, I want to see Minshew Mania completely run wild. You know what I mean? I want to. The most infuriating thing from this weekend, I really don't know if I have one. Again, I was very out of football this weekend. So I don't think I really have an infuriating one, unfortunately, for this week. The most confusing, definitely the Lions. You know, I know this is like one of those games that we talked about that, you know, they're going to get punched in the mouth at some point. That's fine. But I didn't expect it to be this much of a punch in the mouth. You know what I mean? Like that's, ooh, buddy, that's wild. The most hype moment of the weekend, I mean, it's not football, but Spider-Man 2. I mean, come on. It's fucking good.
Oh, my Lord. Are you fucking kidding me?
The most hype moment of the weekend was definitely me checking my phone while playing Spider-Man and seeing, oh, Miami beat Clemson. Let's go. That was pretty sweet. I did not expect to grab that dub, so that was pretty awesome. And then the most shocking, honestly, I might have to just double down. Actually, no, I'll go ahead. Most shocking, the Bears won a game. The Bears won a football game. Like, oh my God. I saw that notification too. And I literally, as I'm like beating Spider-Man, I get the notification, you know, the Bears are, you know, beating the Raiders like 30 to whatever. I'm like, what? I actually had to pause my game. Who would have thought that would have been possible? I paused my game and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How are we winning? So those are my dicks of the week. So boys, what's yours? Let's grip it and rip it.
After you, Ricky.
So I've already shared D, I, and C. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do what is it, H and S. So hyped up. So I have one. I have two. We'll just go ahead and say I have two. One, I'm finally hyped up that we fired Dan Enos, which we should have never hired to begin with. Goodness gracious, that hypes me up a little bit, but I'm still very I'm
Wait, did he
still
get
just
fired?
not on the arc. So yes, they fired Dan Enos.
Oh, I did not see that. Nice.
Yeah, Dan Enos and the receivers coach, they both fired. I still think Pittman's out the door, by the end of the year. My hyped up moment, my other hyped up moment that I would probably put on, goodness gracious, I just had my thought. I had to come back to my other hyped up moment because it literally just passed me, guys. I'm sorry. My most shocking. There's two of them. I'm so shocked that Green Bay sucks so bad after having this one big game at the very beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden they're just falling apart, and the Denver Broncos beat them. That's pretty big. But I would also say this much. Oh, here's my other hyped up part. Minnesota's coming back, gentlemen. They're coming back a little bit. San Francisco is starting to fall just a little bit. And so, which you could also put it toward a shock as well, just for the simple fact is, I didn't see this team losing but maybe two games all season. But it looks like they could be losing more down the road. Oh, and one more shock. Virginia beating North Carolina.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
you
fair.
cannot.
That's very, very
That
fair.
cannot happen. That cannot happen if you're North Carolina. You cannot do that. Playoff hopes have just died for you.
Did they really ever have any playoff hopes to begin with? Let's be real here.
When the season started,
No.
yes, but after that, no.
All right. For disappointing, I have UCF's defense in the second half.
I know.
Man,
Yeah.
they had that game, and then they just let Dylan Gabriel run wild all over them.
He got it. You know, that was his former team. You know, he had to really take care of business.
Infuriating. Washington State.
I'm sorry.
They lose
I
again.
don't want to go any further into that. That's it for that.
You
Confusing.
sound like my Arkansas team.
Confusing is the Virginia upset. It just shouldn't happen. If you have a team with the caliber that is North Carolina and a team that is not the caliber that is Virginia, it just shouldn't happen at all. Hyped moment. Monday Night Cousins is back, baby. Man, what a win for the Vikings. They needed that desperately. Kirk Cousins needed that desperately.
Yeah.
And anytime that San Francisco can get their shit kicked in, I am a big fan of. Shocking. Lackluster Washington offense against Arizona State. How do you have such a great game against Oregon
And then have that.
and then you just don't show up at all against Arizona State? I mean, Michael Penix Jr. threw 2 interceptions, didn't even throw a touchdown at all.
Yeah.
If you're vying for the college football playoffs, that type of game shouldn't happen either.
No, I mean, I think in all fairness, I did watch Arizona State playing. I think it was the first 3 quarters against USC. They gave Caleb Williams a fits too, but I'm just glad USC is falling down. Oh, I'm so glad USC is falling down, and they're falling down hard. And they're having 4 losses. It's 4 losses, gentlemen. They're having at least 4 losses this year. They're going to come out of the top 25 after this weekend, and I don't even know who they're playing this weekend, but they're coming out of the top 25. They're staying in the top 25 this weekend, gentlemen. I'm sorry. They're staying in the top 25.
That immediate flip.
I spoke too soon.
But,
Next week, they will come out of the top 25.
Yes. Starting next week, they will face Washington, then Oregon, then UCLA. So
Should get better
Go
after
Cal.
that. Go Cal. Go Golden Bears, baby.
it's at Cal. So
Yeah, it
hey,
is.
there's potential.
Yeah, it's at Berkeley. So.
Anything can happen.
All right. Steve also threw his in there. His most disappointing was the Packers, most infuriating the refs, most confusing the Lions, most hyped the Eagles, and the most shocking, the tight end performance across the board.
Shout out to that
Steve,
one
I'm
play
at it.
where George Kittle went up into the air and got hit in the balls with a helmet.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Steve, my man, if you want to become a referee, by all means, become a referee, man. I'm telling you, you'll start to understand, man. It's not what it seems. I promise you.
If only he had the time. Poor guy.
I understand that too.
All right, boys. We ready to get to picks?
Let's do it.
All right, bet. I got some jambalaya.
What are we
in
doing
the
first
household
today?
For me. We will.
What did we do first last week?
We'll do college. All right, turn on the old intro for a little flashback here. All right, boys. We got a Wednesday and a Thursday game here, which reminds me I need to send out another reminder email reminding everyone to get their picks in because of that. So we have UTEP at Sam Houston State, who is yet to capture their first W at FBS level. Who do we got here?
This is where it happens. Sam Houston State will catch that dub against UTEP. They're actually favored in this game by 3.5 points. Give me Sam Houston.
UTEP though has been playing a lot better here lately. I'm going to stick with UTEP.
Give me UTEP. All right, next up, we have Georgia State and Georgia Southern. I'm still going to ride with Georgia State on this one. I like Georgia State a lot, but Georgia Southern's playing some good ball, too.
I think it'll be a close
It doesn't
game.
matter.
Give me Georgia Southern because they are at home, because I think this will be a very, very close game.
I'm going to agree with Jacob, and it doesn't matter who I pick. I have not gotten this game right between ATFS and the time that we went in this little poll with my stepfather and his friends, which we're not doing it this year, unfortunately. I don't think I've ever gotten this game right.
All right, so I'm on the winning side then. Georgia State, awesome. Next up, West Virginia and UCF. Give me UCF.
This is about to be a potential game of the week. I think this will be a really, really good game with a nice shootout because both of these teams have been playing quite well.
Yeah.
And they've been playing in very close games against some pretty good talent. I'm going to take West Virginia with the upset.
I will also take West Virginia.
Fuck both of y'all. South Carolina and Texas A&M.
This is at Texas A&M. Texas A&M they should win this game pretty handily.
Yeah, I agree. Texas A&M.
Yeah, give me Texas A&M. Clemson and NC State.
You know, at the beginning of the year, I was really, really hyped up with NC State. NC State, they do find ways to win games, but my God. Clemson does not lose back-to-back games, though. Give me Clemson.
I'm going with Clemson.
Yeah, I'm going with Clemson as well.
Duke and Louisville.
I don't know.
I don't know either. This one's hard. This one honestly
Look,
could
who's
be our
gonna-
game of the
Who's going to
week.
show up, though? I mean, if you look at it, I'm just as impressed with Louisville as I am Duke. Duke has losses to really good teams. Louisville lost to a potential team who's on the uprise. Give me Louisville. They're at home.
Yeah, Louisville's favored by 4 points here. Louisville has the win over Notre Dame. Duke didn't get a victory over Notre Dame. Give me Louisville on this one.
Give me Louisville, but I'm very hesitant on that. All right. Ricky.
Yes.
Virginia at Miami. Give me Miami.
So this one will not take 4 overtimes. And yes, I did it just because my favorite whole video segment that Alex has still not put back on, that is
I
my
do need to add it
favorite
back.
one, is that it took Miami 4 overtimes to beat Virginia. Virginia is on the hype after beating North Carolina. but I think Miami's going to get the victory this year. They're going to get the victory again this year. Give me Miami.
Miami couldn't beat UNC. Virginia did.
Don't.
Virginia's on a 2-game win streak right
Don't.
now, and Miami barely beat Clemson.
Don't.
Ricky's having it over there right now.
Don't.
Miami is favored by 19 points, which is a huge margin for this caliber of a game. Give me the Cavaliers, baby. 1 overtime.
1 overtime. I like it.
1
I like it.
overtime. Hey, last season, I was with Ricky. Ricky, did you have Virginia?
I am
winning that
never
game
riding
last year?
shit with you ever again. You son of a bitch. I can't believe you would do this to me.
No. Well, yes, I did, because Miami was also. I think they were on a 2 or 3 at that time. If my memory's correct, I know they were on a losing streak.
West
Yeah.
Michigan, East Michigan. Give me East Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, West Michigan has been playing better football, and this one's always going to be close. But I'm gonna take East Michigan too.
This game usually is one of the tougher games within the MAC. Give me Western Michigan.
Mississippi State and Auburn. Give me Auburn.
Yeah, no doubt Auburn.
Yeah, Mississippi State got that impressive victory against Arkansas
true.
last week.
It's true.
Give me Auburn.
BYU and Texas. Give me Texas.
Give me
put
BYU
this
with the
game
upset.
up?
Ooh.
Did Jacob, did you put this game up?
Yeah. I think
I think you did, yeah.
I did.
Okay. I'm picking Texas.
No faith in the Mormons.
Miami of Ohio and Ohio. This one's tough, honestly. Give me Miami of Ohio. Give me the Red Hawks.
Let's see here. This could possibly be for the division. Let's see here. If you're looking on the other side, Northern Illinois, Toledo, and everything like that. Yeah, Miami, Ohio did lose last week. Where's
Just
it
a really
at?
good Toledo
It's at
team.
Ohio.
It is at Ohio.
Very true. I'm going to pick Ohio. They're undefeated at home.
I agree. Give me the Bobcats.
Next up, Georgia at Florida.
I want to take Florida, but I'm going to take Georgia.
I'm going to take Georgia, too.
Georgia's favored by 14.5 points. I'm going to take Georgia, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Montana State at Idaho. Give me Idaho.
Give me the Vandals.
Hell yeah.
I will also take the Vandals.
Wyoming at Boise State. Give me Wyoming.
Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, that's it's going to be definitely one of those deals where this is going to definitely affect the standings of their conference. Wyoming plays some good football. Boise State trying to figure things out still. I'll still stick with the Cowboys.
Marshall and Coastal Carolina.
I'm going to take Marshall. Coastal Carolina, they're still trying to figure things out. I know they had a win against over Appalachian State, who, by the way, is starting to slip. And then I think last week they beat Arkansas State, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Marshall's been a little bit more impressive. I'm gonna take Marshall.
Has Marshall been more impressive? They're on a 3-game losing streak, and every damn week I pick them and they lose. I love Marshall, but give me Coastal Carolina.
Give me Coastal Carolina as well.
I did not realize they were on a 3-game losing streak. Because they had a pretty tough schedule at the beginning of the year. I did not realize that. I think they snapped their streak. We are Marshall again, ladies and gentlemen. We are Marshall. And in Marshall's defense, besides Old Dominion, because not Old Dominion, I'm sorry. Besides Georgia State, James Madison is a very, very good football team. Georgia State's okay. And then of course they did go to North Carolina State. They went to Georgia State. So that 3-game streak has been that's a tough streak for any mid-major team. They ended this week.
All right. Tennessee and Kentucky. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah, give me Tennessee.
Yeah, I'll take Tennessee as well.
Troy and Texas State. Give me Troy.
Yeah, I mean Texas State has actually been very, very impressive because they were one of those teams that I did not expect to win many games at all, and they have just blown it up. Troy has a pretty good background defensively. Texas State can run oh gosh, they know how to run a good offense. Give me Texas State.
Give me Troy.
Ohio State and Wisconsin. Give me Wisconsin. Go fuck yourself.
You legit?
No, I will pick Ohio State, but I'm not giving you an OH today. You're banned today. Next week.
Ohio State.
You still have time to go change your pick, and I'll give you one.
I'm sorry, man. I can't.
All right, you're not getting one from me this week. You'll get it next week.
Give me Ohio State because Wisconsin has been slumping here recently.
They've been
but
massively slumping.
It's another potential. It could be a potential loss for Ohio State. I could very well see Wisconsin upsetting the Buckeyes.
I don't.
All right, so next up, Colorado and UCLA. God, man, I want to pick Colorado, but their defense is so fucking bad. Their offense is fine, but their defense is so fucking bad. They're allowing like 480 yards a game. Like, oh my God. I want to pick Colorado so bad, but give me UCLA at home. But I wouldn't be shocked if Colorado gets a dub.
Give me UCLA convincingly.
I will agree with Jacob. UCLA convincingly.
All right, the Beavs going to Arizona. I'm scared of this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Arizona's been playing some tough mouth football.
Yeah.
They have looked like a complete opposite team than what they started out the season as.
Give me the Beavs, but I'm nervous.
Arizona's hungry for that top tier win, man. I don't think it'll come against Oregon State. I'm taking the Beavs, but Arizona State's gonna get that big dub here soon.
I'm taking Arizona.
Wow. Both of you this week has just stabbed me in the heart. UNLV and Fresno State. Give me Fresno fucking State, I guess.
Hey, at least I took games.
Shut up.
Yeah, Brett, I'm also taking Fresno State.
All right, next up, San Jose State and Hawaii.
Well, I was going to say give me UNLV because I don't think they'll lose a game to finish the season.
Really?
Yeah, I think they'll beat Air Force.
Oh, okay, that's spicy.
Yep, and under a first-year head coach as well.
All right, so yeah, San Jose State and Hawaii. Hawaii's former quarterback coming home.
Very true.
Siobhan
Very true.
Corderio.
When's the last time
sorry,
Hawaii won a game?
I have to take San Jose State.
Uh,
I can't pick Hawaii because they haven't been playing competitive football for weeks now.
That's not true.
When have they played competitive football?
San Diego State. 41-34. We played competitive.
Okay, I guess.
Give me Hawaii. Convincingly. Not convincingly, but give me Hawaii.
Give me San Jose State.
I cannot blame those picks. All right, next up, FBS game of the week. We got Oregon going to Utah. Who do we got here?
Give me the Utes.
Ooh.
Interesting. Very interesting. But I am taking Oregon.
Give me Oregon. All right, FCS game of the week. We got San Diego State and South Dakota State and South Dakota. Give me South Dakota State. Give me the Jackrabbits.
Oh, this one's tough. All these Dakotas are very good this year.
They are. They are.
North Dakota State is slipping as well. Give me the upset, and I hate to do this because I love South Dakota State, but give me South Dakota for the upset.
Give me South Dakota State.
All right, next up, our terrible game of the week presented by ATFS. Guys, look, we got to stop beating up the FCS, but they make it too easy sometimes, okay? Because once again, we have a matchup of two winless teams. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep beating up the FCS. They're an easy target, I know. All right, next week, we got to pick an FBS matchup. We've been bullying the FCS all season long. I think almost every terrible game of the week has been an FCS game.
In my defense, I did have San Jose State and Hawaii as a terrible game of the
I
week.
know you did. Fuck off. It made it into the
along with
lineup.
this one.
But we have Northwestern State for the second week in a row and McNeese State. Both of these teams have yet to get a win. I don't know who to pick, man. They're dog shit.
So both of these teams are out of Louisiana. Northwestern State, I believe, is out of Lake. No, I'm sorry. Northwestern State is out of Alexandria. McNeese is out of Lake Charles. And so, yeah, they're both absolutely horrible. The only reason I'm picking Northwestern State is for the simple fact is the McNeese is blown out of literally every single game. They did play very, very competitive football against a Wood-Lost Carter Word team last week, but I see that coming to an end. I don't think they're going to be. This game will be competitive, but both teams suck so bad, and so Northwestern State's. It's going to be like a 10-7 game. It's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad game.
Give me the Demons, I guess.
Yeah, give me Northwestern State, just strictly based upon they have a better logo, because McNeese State has a damn Michigan M in the middle of it.
True. True. All right, boys, let's get to NFL picks and wrap up the show gloriously. All right, Thursday Night Football. We got Tampa and Buffalo. Who do we got here?
I'm going to take the Bills in a rebound. I think they rebound off this week. Tampa Bay, did they even play? They got beat.
Yeah, they got beat by Atlanta. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, but I think Buffalo is going to rebound.
Give me Tampa Bay.
All right, Philadelphia at Washington. Give me Philly.
I really want to pick Washington in this game. I really do. But Washington has not shown me any kind. They're so inconsistent. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but if there's one team that plays Philadelphia really, really tough, is Washington. Give me the Commanders.
Ooh. Okay. New Orleans at Indy. Give me Minshew Mania. It's going to finally run wild.
I agree.
I'll third it.
Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. Give me Jacksonville.
I think this is going to be a close game. Give me Jacksonville, but like by 3 points.
I agree.
And I'm also going to agree, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh by 3 points.
Jets and the Giants. It's been a while since these two played in the regular season, right?
Yeah. Been like 4 or 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, give me the Jets.
Yeah.
I will also take it.
I'll take the Jets as well. They're starting to find their footing, which is odd to say.
Texans and the Panthers. Give me CJ Stroud over Bryce Young. I don't even know if Bryce is playing this weekend, but give me CJ Stroud over Bryce Young.
Oh, you know I agree. Those Houston Texans are winning out, baby.
Winning out. Okay.
Hey, I predicted it.
You know,
They're only
I
going
was-
to win one game to finish the
You
season,
did.
or lose one game to finish the season. That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just pick the Texans.
Oh,
Do not
Carolina.
pick Carolina.
I hope Carolina wins this game, but I've got the Texans as well.
Wow. New England at Miami. Give me Miami.
I agree.
Definitely Miami. New England's not going to win back-to-back on this one.
Atlanta at Tennessee. Give me Atlanta.
Agreed.
Tennessee's about to trade everybody. Yep, I'll give me Atlanta.
Minnesota, Green Bay.
Give me the Vikings.
I will also take the Vikings.
Yeah,
They're
give
on
me
an
the Vikings.
uphill. Green Bay's it never was.
All right. Rams at Dallas. Give me the Cowboys.
Huh.
We're favored by 6.5. Which is
That is
kind of
true.
surprising because I can see the Rams winning this.
That's what I'm saying, though. That I can see the Rams winning this too. They had a pretty bad game last week. Dallas is coming off a bye week. Give me the Cowboys.
Hesitantly, I'll take the Cowboys.
Cleveland at Seattle. Still no word on if Sean's playing, right?
He
Give
is
me,
listed as questionable.
give me Seattle.
Yeah,
That
I'll
is
take
one
Seattle.
thing about Seattle. One thing about Seattle is that they're still like I did not expect Seattle to even be as competitive as what they've been this year. Even coming off of last year, I thought they were going to have a pretty good down year this year. Cleveland's been very impressive though. Even with backups behind Deshaun Watson, they've still been very, very impressive. I'm going to take Cleveland, but very, very close.
KC, Denver, KC.
Poor Denver.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Denver and Green Bay could have been considered a terrible game of the week. We could have just put them over in the college realm. We could have, with that way we could have, given the FCS a little bit of a break. We'll just put the NFL in there. But yes, I'm also thinking this is not going to be close. It's going to be bad.
Cincy, San Fran. Give me San Fran.
San Fran's lost back-to-back. They're going back home. Cincinnati's coming off a bye week. Joe Burrow is playing better. This one's tough on me. This one's tough. I'm actually going to take Cincinnati. I think they're going to give San Francisco a third straight loss.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Cincinnati here, not because of biasness, but just for the simple fact that bye week is going to help them dramatically as far as injuries go. So give me give me Cincy. I almost said San Francisco.
Baltimore, Arizona. Give me the Ravens.
Yep. Ravens.
Easy.
Arizona win this game. Yeah, give me
Right?
Baltimore.
This is the type of game that Arizona would have
Saying.
been based
Yeah.
upon this year.
Just saying.
Wait, I just realized, is Chicago, LA, is that the Sunday night game?
Yes, it is.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Dude, that's
No.
bad.
Hold on. Wait. No. Don't do that. Don't. Why?
Hey, you guys got a good rookie quarterback.
He played okay. Let's pump the brakes.
I think he did 21 for 29, 162
He
yards.
did
and a
what he had-
touchdown.
he did
That's
what he
pretty
had to
damn
do.
good.
What a shit fest of a Sunday night game.
Right?
Give me the Chargers.
Give me the Bears.
I can't pick Bears games, so pick the Bears, guys.
I'm picking the Bears too.
Vegas and Detroit for Monday night. Give me Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's going to rebound this week, and they need it badly.
Let's hope they rebound this week. But yeah, give me Detroit.
All right, boys. Got through our picks. Shout out to that. Can't believe that's the Sunday night game. Jesus Christ. I don't know how to feel about that one. All right, boys. Any last thoughts?
I mean, out of all the 3 primetime games, that's probably the best matchup.
Unfortunately, it is.
If that's saying something.
Shit week for football, honestly.
Yep. Watch this be the weekend of major upsets, though.
Oh, right.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can very well see that.
All right, boys. Any last things that you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Nope.
I'll do one for you, Jacob. OH.
Ayo!
Fuck
Love you too, Alex.
No, you betrayed me. After all we've been through, you betrayed me like this. All right, see you, Ricky. All right, so again, all right, so next week we will not be live on Tuesday. We'll be going live on Wednesday. I don't know the time. It will either be 5 o'clock Central Time or 5:30 Central Time, like normal. Just check out the channel. You'll see it go live up at some point. It'll either be like me and Ricky start the show and then me and Jacob finish the show. I don't know. We'll see. We're just doing it again to celebrate Halloween. So happy Halloween to everyone. I got some spooky plans that I would like to do. So shout out to that. And we'll definitely be back to talk about college football playoff rankings and give our thoughts on it. So that'll be exciting. Looking forward to that. Make sure to join the Discord. Check out Rogue G with the referral link down below. Use promo code Spark30 to get 10% off, as well as go over to Agent Inc. and pick up a jersey. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.